All right, it says we're live, but YouTube has been iffy today. If you're out there, there we go. We got our first comment. At least I know it's going out. Paul, how you doing? Yeah, YouTube's been kind of meh today's episode. How you doing, buddy? We need to talk again sometime. We haven't talked in a while, so we should talk sometime here in the near future. Yeah, I'm just kind of checking in on YouTube. It's saying my strength health is kind of iffy. So if I'm starting to have trouble, let me know, guys. I'm using some new settings tonight, so I'm trying to improve the quality of the stream, but I'm also trying to stay on the stream. So as always, this is the Low Budget Livestream, and as always, I am your host, the real Gino Reynolds. And again, hopefully you guys are seeing all this. I've got a lot to talk about today. I know we didn't do a show a couple weeks ago. Between life and being sick and everything else, the show wasn't going to happen. And really I debated to until I posted that I wasn't going to do a show, whether or not I was going to do one, and I just couldn't. I was so down and out that I couldn't bring myself to do one. But as always on the Low Budget live stream here, if you've got something you want to talk about, definitely put it in the chat. The phone lines are open, as they say. It's the inmates run the asylum. It's ask me anything, rules within reason. I mean, come on, we try to play nice here, but if there's something serious you want to talk about, definitely put it in there. So anyway, I hope you guys are again getting, excuse me, are getting the signal good. Again, if I have to, I'll lower the bit rate, but I raise it up enough to see if I can get the quality of the video better. So hopefully it's looking a little better than it normally does. Or maybe it doesn't look any different at all. I don't know. I don't get to watch it as it happens. So yeah, whatever you guys want to talk about, definitely, definitely put it in the chat, and we'll try to talk about it. And if it's something I know anything about, anyway. Some good news out of the way first. Excuse me, I'm still fighting the drainage gunk. I mean, come on, I live in Central Illinois and I have horrible sinuses, so there you go. Some good news to get out of the way first. I want to congratulate my buddy Rob from Smirking Gun Reviews. He finally hit 1,000 subscribers on here on YouTube, which nowadays is almost insanely impossible. So I'm proud of him that he stuck with it, and he made it there, and I know it made his day. He did a really long live stream last night. I only got to stick around for a little bit because I needed to sleep. But I do want to congratulate him for hitting that milestone. I was so happy for him. He's someone that I know is passionate about what he talks about. He just wants to have a good time. He's like me. He just wants to have a good time on here and wants to talk about the stuff he loves. And and now he finally hit that milestone, and he said something along the lines of he can breathe. So I was happy to see him hit that milestone. So Rob, congratulations, buddy. I'm glad. I'm glad you finally got to hit that milestone. I'm gonna get into a few things. Some things. There's one thing I definitely want to talk about tonight, and one I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I'm ready to talk about the other one. I thought I was, and don't worry, it's nothing. I'm not gonna say I'm dying or anything, but there's just something I wanted to address, and I don't know if I'm ready. But there is something I do need to talk about, and it's what's been going on the past month or so. Decatur Public Schools, the schools my sons go to, my oldest son, who's special needs, he has what's called a teacher's assistant. They help him get to and from where he's supposed to go, make sure he gets there safe. They ride the bus with him. They work with him in class. There's all sorts of different things that they do for him. They do a lot for my son, and they're in this contract negotiation with Decatur Public Schools, and it's not going well. I mean, it's doing better than it was, I think, because they're at least talking again now. But I didn't know how to handle life a few weeks ago because uh, the they finally went on strike. The teachers' assistants, they finally went on strike, and my son was out of school for 3 days because Decatur Public Schools would not allow my son to go to school because in his reports, his IEP as it's called, he has to have a TA, so they wouldn't allow him to go to school. And it was hard for me to explain to my son, who thrives on routine, why he couldn't go to school. Um, it was just, I don't know, man. I didn't know how to handle it because I didn't know how to talk to him about it. I tried to explain it to him, and of course he asked did he do anything wrong, uh, things like that. And of course I had to explain to him no, because he has gotten in trouble at school and got sent home before. So whenever you're telling him he has to stay at home, it's like, did I do something wrong? Well, no, buddy, you didn't. And he doesn't understand contract negotiations and all that garbage. He's 11, so he just, we tried to make the best of it. But when they decided to go on strike, I wasn't angry at them because I understood why they wanted to go on strike, because basically they were getting screwed on their health insurance. Decatur Public Schools wanted to raise their health insurance. I think it was something like triple or something like that. So, of course, for teachers' assistants who don't work full time, that's a killer. I mean, how can you make any money? You basically be paying for your insurance, and that's about it. And as much as I know they love working with the kids, it there's only so far love can take you. You got to pay the bills, right? So, so when I heard they were going on strike, and then you see the response from Decatur Public Schools, which was very it was a lackluster response. They almost blamed the TA, saying they're choosing not to work, and it was almost a little smug. And I can't tell you how angry I was when this was happening. And I didn't know how to react because, look, I try to stay chill. I try not to get angry because there's no point, right? You should always be able to, like, for stuff like this especially, you should be able to talk your way through it. But I just got to this point where I didn't know how I'd react if I saw some of these people. Would I yell at them? Would I, I even had thoughts I wanted to, like, put my hands on this guy for the things he said. He said something along the lines of, I don't have the quote in front of me, but it was, all TAs do is walk the children to and from class. And it's like, dude, they do more than that. It's like, live with my son for a day and tell me they don't do hard work, right? And Desiree joins us. How you doing? Of course they work you on my Wednesday. Not have fun at work. Hopefully you can check this out later. But yeah, I just didn't know how to react to any of this. And I finally got a cooler head, but I mean, I was at work when this happened, and of course, working at a news station, we had to cover it. And it was just, I didn't know how to handle it. I'm sitting there we're doing the news stories, and I'm just getting angrier and angrier. But I will say this, I'm not going to name names or anything, but there were some people at work that talked with me about it and helped me talk my way through it, just to get it off my chest. And there was a couple people that really were with me there, and they let me open up a little bit. And even though I'm pretty good friends with, the other one I don't know that well, but they are just a caring person, and they were there to listen, and it was very helpful. So I have a lot of appreciation there. But The days my son was off, we tried to make the best of it. My mom, who was watching him, she would take him around to the picket lines and take the striking TAs like donuts and hot chocolate, and of course he was a superstar there. And on the last day, that the day before they decided to go back, even though they don't have a contract or anything, they just went back because they realized that the only people that were suffering was the kids. Um, they my mom took my son to the special ed building here in town and wanted to talk to the head of special ed and let my son ask her why he couldn't go to school. They wouldn't let him see her, of course, but he left a message, and it's like Andy really wondered why could he not go to school. Um because he wanted to go to school. I mean, he doesn't always want to be there, but deep down, Andy loves school and he likes going, and he likes learning, and he likes being around other kids, and it's good for him. And them denying him, I mean, just the thoughts of them basically telling my son, "You're less than human." Uh, I understand they're saying, well, we're doing it for their safety and everything, but it's like, you know what? If you don't have the TAs, you need to come up with a plan to be able to take care of these kids, because I mean, there could be civil or human rights issues there. You saying, well, you're not allowed to go, but you're allowed to go, and I don't know. It was a rough. That was a rough few days, but even now, it's like, well, what's going to happen next? You're hoping they can make a deal, but you just never know. And thankfully, again, he got to go back, and I have this bad feeling that if he wouldn't have gotten to go back for a few more days, he would have got to this point where he wouldn't want to go back, at least for a while, and we'd have to get him back in that routine again, and it just wouldn't have been very good. So that's a lot of what I've been dealing with personally. Again, there's another thing I don't think I'm ready to talk about it yet, because it would be one of those where I probably just ranted for a while. And again, don't worry, everything's okay. It's just some things I need to get off my chest and some things I've been thinking about. But let's get on with some happy stuff. Because you know what, I don't feel like having a pity party tonight. But I did have to get that off my chest. I wanted you guys to know what I was dealing with the last few weeks, and why we didn't have a show a couple weeks ago, and why, that between that and being sick, and I was just so worn down. There was just a lot going on. So again, if you guys got stuff you want to talk about, definitely put it in the chat and we will talk about it. I don't have anything prepared, but if there's any movies or there's anything that you just want to talk about, definitely put it in the chat. I hope that everything's working right. Just let me know in the chat if something starts happening with the stream, because I do have some new settings going on. But if you have things you want to talk about, I don't have much to talk about tonight. So definitely put some stuff in the chat so we can talk about it. Let me do a little refresh on the chat here. There we go. Let's see. Paul's with us, Debson's with us. Bill asks, so how about that new season of Rick and Morty? I've never seen the show, and I know I get a lot of flack for that. I honestly think it would probably be a show I would dig, and I'm just at this point where I don't want to start it. I get to that point where a show's been on for a while, and I'm like, do I really want to catch up? One of these days I'll probably watch it, but I am so far behind on everything else, I don't know if I'd ever watch it. Though again, I think it'd probably be a show I'd dig. But as a fan, what do you think of the show? Do you think it's going? I think they had to wait on that season a while. So, do you think it was worth the wait? I am curious about that. Let's see. Paul says, "Glad you're feeling better." Thank you. Yeah, I'm still draining, and I'll never get rid of it over the winter or fall and winter. It's just gonna be there. But hopefully it'll go away enough to where I can function. There was a few of my radio segments I had to do where one of them I recorded and I couldn't even barely hear myself. And thankfully the next day my voice cleared up enough I could record it again, and they of course, used the new one. So, um, after we're done with the live stream tonight, I would have had two new videos for you guys, but one of them I'm waiting to be cleared. Anytime I do a real rant, I think the word rant, I don't think YouTube likes the word rant, because I never, there was some I cussed in, but I, I would bleep it out, right? Or even if I didn't, I would never, I hardly ever left really bad words in there. And so this one doesn't have anything. It's just me talking about a subject. And, of course, it's real rant's a bit of satire, and it's just fun for me. I try to act a little angrier than I really am, but I try to have fun with it. And, of course, it gets held for review. So I'm waiting on that episode to clear. So hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to put it up. But then I'll have a new Crossing Streams. I didn't know it wasn't a movie, but then I had to watch it. They aired it once on an app, and then I had to find it online, but I found it on YouTube. And I mean, it was before I found it on the app. And so, I didn't know what to call it. So I just put it in Crossing Streams, because I saw it on a streaming service, even though, again, it's not a full movie. It was a show, but I don't have like a TV show segment, so I just called it Crossing Streams because I saw it on a streaming service. But I will release my new Crossing Streams. It's definitely family friendly. If I would have gotten any holdback on that, I would have been surprised because of the subject matter. It's a family show that I'm gonna do a review for. I got to see it over the weekend, and I was so happy after I watched it, and then I watched it again today before I did my review. So I'll be releasing that after the show. Anyone that's wondering like where some of my content's been, again, it played into this last month. I planned on having like a new Gino's Bad at Games up, but again, between the stuff happening with my kid and being sick and everything else, it's like, well, I had to put some things on the back burner. I try to keep up on the movies, and then again, there's shows I've been watching that I haven't even reviewed. I've been meaning to talk about Titans. I've been meaning to talk about Young Justice season 3, and some of them I just might not do. Of course, I have to do The Mandalorian. I wasn't, and that's my first episode by episode one I'm doing. I plan on doing an episode by episode of the Harley Quinn show when it comes out on the DC Universe app. I'm gonna do episode by episode there. I'm not sure what else. I haven't got a chance to see Lady and the Tramp on Disney Plus. I plan on it. I'm still catching up on movies, but then this weekend I got 2 tomorrow. I'm seeing the Mr. Rogers movie, and I'm seeing Frozen 2 tomorrow. Friday I was gonna go see 21 Bridges, but then all of a sudden the local art theater is getting The Irishman, so I may try to go see that instead, and then go see 21 Bridges sometime in the morning sometime on the morning on Saturday. But then Saturday night I got to go to Champaign because I'm going to see Knives Out. So yeah, there's a lot going on. Every time I think I'm getting caught up, then, well, and then I don't. And I try to get caught up. I'm hoping I can get on another Gino's Bad at Games soon. I want to play my new game. I just haven't had a chance to sit down. I got to play it for like 5 minutes. And then again, all this stuff started happening. So, we're definitely going to get into it, because again, this game is something I really want to get into, and I have other games I want to try. I want to do a segment. I want to do a segment with my son Ryan. I'm going to get a game that I think he'll like playing with me. Andy wants to do another one. I'm not sure what game we're going to play, but he wants to do another one. Oh, and those wondering, um, where's my review for Playing with Fire? Uh, I'm sure there's some that wonder because, of course, John Cena movie. Andy wanted to see it. Well, I went and seen it, and then Andy and I went and seen it, but he wasn't having the best day. He was really tired. He would have rather been home playing. It just wasn't a good day for him to go see it, but we went and seen it. So what I'm going to do with that movie is I'm going to wait till it comes out on video, so we can sit at home and watch it, and then we can record some. Because he's like, when do we get to talk about it? I'm like, buddy, you weren't in the mood. You were in a pretty, tired mood when we went to go see it. You ain't gonna remember half of what happened. So when it comes out on video, which I'm sure will be, quickly for that movie, we're gonna talk about it then. So I think that'll be easier on both of us. Let's see. Let's go to the chat here. Paul says, "What do I think about a Joker 2 movie?" It depends. If they're planning on connecting it to like the Robert Pattinson Batman somehow, which you totally could, I would be all for it. I don't want to see them just run Joker into the ground though. Not saying I loved Joker, and I thought Joaquin Phoenix was great, but I don't want them to do it just to do it. I want there to be a great idea. I want it to mean something if they're going to do it again. But that being said, I would love to see him play that character again, even if he's not the quote-unquote original Joker. So I would like to see it deep down, but again, I want them to have a good reason to do it, not just, hey, this movie made $1 billion worldwide, let's do it again. Two Dudes Reviews joins us, says, hey Gino, what is your overall thoughts on Disney Plus? So far, it's not without its flaws, but I really like it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix brought some lawsuits their way for the design and everything, because it couldn't, I mean, there's so many things just like Netflix on there. It's not even funny, and it's a good thing because, I mean, it makes it easy to navigate, but they definitely need to fix a few things. They need to fix the next episode thing. Even though on the app the next episode thing works, but they need to have a continue watching thing. At least I'm trying to remember what all issues I was having with it. There's some things that, just little things that I think they need to tweak. All in all, I like the service. I've been happy. You mentioned The Mandalorian. I've been happy with The Mandalorian. I know there's some people out there that are kind of ripping it. It's like, you're just, playing off the nostalgia, having certain things that you've had in it, and it's like, it's still doing its own thing. And honestly, I think it's definitely, if it doesn't play into episode 9, I think what they're doing in The Mandalorian could play into future movies. And that would be really cool. And also, I have a feeling, I mean, you got to remember, this is the House of Mouse that has Marvel, right? So you have, these stories that connect. I have a feeling that they are going to connect The Mandalorian to whatever other Star Wars shows they do, including the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. I have a feeling, I just got this feeling that Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to show up in a flashback in The Mandalorian. I really hope so. I think we're going to get Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi in The Mandalorian show, and that would be really cool. So all in all, so far, Disney Plus, it's not without its flaws, especially day one when they were having issues. I remember watching The Mandalorian at like 3 in the morning at work, and then all of a sudden I'm telling everyone about it, or about the Disney Plus, and then all of a sudden it's not working. But they got it back up pretty quick, and I've been pretty happy with it. So again, small improvements here and there, but they'll get there. I hope they get there because I paid for it for 3 years. Bill says, family life comes first. This is a hobby we can wait. Yeah, look, I know that, and I appreciate the sentiment. I'm just one of those people that, I know you can't please everyone all the time, but you definitely want to, if I'm I always want to put my best foot forward, my best product forward, and um, I just want to keep it going, and I don't want to take too much time off, because it's like, well, uh, you know, this is YouTube, and I'm not saying y'all would forget me, but if someone sees you, but then they don't see your product for a while, that's someone that's not as familiar with you. They're not gonna, they probably won't remember you when the next thing comes along. So, I just want to keep it at least somewhat consistent, so people, hopefully the audience goes up, because right now it's the audience and the subscriptions have been going down a little bit. Let's see, where was I? Paul says, can't wait for your Frozen 2 review before you take kids see it. Yeah, I'm seeing it at 7 tomorrow, I think. I think that's because I'm seeing the Mr. Rogers movie at like 4:30, and then I'm seeing Frozen right after. Um, the review should be up by Friday sometime. I would hope Friday morning, early afternoon, sometime. I'm not sure what I think of Frozen 2. Look, I liked Frozen, especially when it kind of made fun of Love at First Sight and things like that. And I like Olaf a lot, but I don't know. I really have this feeling that, and look, I want them to prove me wrong, but I have this feeling that Frozen 2 is going to be one of those forced sequels, that they're just doing it. They needed to get a story out there, because the last movie made money. I want to be wrong, I really do, but I just have this fear that that's what Frozen 2 is going to be. Scott says, welcome back. Thank you so much, Scott. Says, if you know a young person who liked The Mandalorian, it could be an opportunity to show them some classics, like Fistful of Dollars Trilogy, Lone Wolf and Cub, any old westerns. Yeah, that show is so a western, or so a samurai movie. And you can definitely, in the music and just the look and feel, yeah, you definitely, and really you can say that about, especially the original Star Wars movies. They definitely have some of that in there too. But this one especially, yeah. When I first saw The Mandalorian, which I know the name of him apparently leaked. I don't remember what it was, whether it is even that's who it's supposed to be. But The Mandalorian, all you can think of is, Clint Eastwood's guy, the guy with no name. So yeah, I've been really enjoying The Mandalorian a lot, and I love the feel of that. I love the whole Western samurai feel of the whole thing, and I hope it can keep that. I know they're doing a season 2 already, so hopefully it can just kind of keep that going. But yeah, I don't know if my kids are ready for that yet, ready for those type of movies yet, but because I don't know if Ryan, especially Ryan, who would be the Star Wars kid, I don't know if he would be ready to get away from sci-fi yet, to go see those movies. But someday I'm hoping he can appreciate stuff like that. Bryce says, hey everyone, how are you now? Doing all right, hanging in there. I'm still a little stuffy, but I'm functioning. Happy to be back. I'm happy to be doing this today. Of course, I hadn't done it in a month, so I was a little scared because, I go away doing something for a while, and the fear comes back, but I'm happy to be doing it again. It's fun doing these. Let's see. Bill says, Daisy Ridley used 3 words to describe episode 9: dark, scary, and sad. Good, because that's the way it should be. Man, everyone has a lot of fears for this movie. I'm one of them. Of course, it's the wars, man. So I want to have optimism, but I had my issues with Last Jedi. I'm not going to argue with people, that, are all the way loving it, all the way hating it. I'm just in the middle with The Last Jedi. I need to watch it again. I've only seen it. I saw it in a theater, and then I think I only watched it twice. I haven't watched it when it came out on home video or anything. Not on Disney Plus yet. You can look it up, and it says, well, we'll get it soon. So I need to watch it again. But I know I'm going to have the same issues. It's like, well, I don't like these new characters. I liked what they did with these characters. I loved a lot of it, especially when it came to the Kylo Ray Luke stuff. The side missions with Finn and them just, I don't know, it kind of made their characters look dumb. I know, and again, I've said this before, Ryan Johnson just seemed like he was saying, I have this toy now and I can do whatever I want with it, whether you like it or not. And then I think he did some things just to say he could. And Ryan Johnson's one of those directors, like, I just want him to do his own thing. I've said that before. I love Looper. I'm looking forward to Knives Out this weekend. So it's, you know, I thought he did some really cool stuff in Star Wars, but he kind of ignored episode 7. Other than you have these characters, he ignored a lot of it. He just, I'm going to do my own thing whether you like it or not, and I'm going to force these messages whether you like it or not. And I didn't like that. Then again, I liked some of what he did with some of the characters. So again, I'm in the middle there. I need to watch it again though, but I have a lot of optimism for the last episode, because I'll put it this way. J.J. Abrams has a big monkey on his back for this one, because think about if he fails. This is the final Skywalker saga movie, right? At least that's what they're saying, of course, right? I think, imagine if it fails. Imagine if it's terrible, right? I have a feeling that, they have to find the right balance of fan service, and they have to find the right balance of introducing new characters, especially if you want to continue this. They may not be continuing the Skywalker storyline, but you could do other movies with these characters. Apparently, Daisy Ridley said she's not done. And I'd hate to see them build a character up for 3 movies and never use them again, right? So they got to find this right balance. But man, if this fails, I mean, that's like one of the biggest blunders in movie history if they fail this finale. While I have optimism, I am scared as well. I'm hoping I get an early screening of it. I took vacation to go see it if I do. I don't travel a whole lot anymore to see screeners, but man, of course I'm going to go for that if I get one. And boy, am I scared. But I'm also optimistic because even though he borrowed a lot of ideas for episode 7, J.J. Abrams, I think, at least had the right idea to get people back into Star Wars. And I'd rather have him in control. I'm glad that Colin Trevorrow is not in control anymore. Lord help us if he would have been in control of the final episode. I'm glad it's Abrams if it's anybody. And hopefully he'll be able to stick the landing. Let's just put it that way. Bill says Frozen 2 reheated. Zephyr said Frozen 2. That's nice. I'm honestly surprised that that's not the logo right there for Frozen 2 with Zepsern's idea there. Paul says, did you try McDonald's McRib? Yes, I've had a McRib. Look, I'm not going to say it's not good. It's all right. It's not my favorite. But I like it enough. Okay, I get it every now and then, maybe once every couple of years. It's not one of those things I really look forward to. And I will say this, if they didn't have such good barbecue sauce, that sandwich would not be good. I like to get the barbecue sauce and put it on the chicken sandwich and make a barbecue chicken sandwich. That's better for me. Bryce says there are so many rumors about the movie. Test screenings not doing well. 3 versions of Kennedy, Iger, and Lucas. I think probably all junk rumors. Who knows? I know that Kennedy and Lucas are kind of going at it right now. I know, Lucas is not happy about certain things, and Kennedy's saying, you sold it to us, let it go. That's my thing is, look, if Lucas is there as an advisor, that's fine. But it's not his anymore. He don't get to make the decisions. You sold it, buddy. If you wanted to make all the decisions, you should have kept it. I will say that. As much as I appreciate George Lucas for creating Star Wars, it's like, dude, you sold it. That's your problem. So hopefully, look, I don't listen to anybody's. I mean, I'll if someone wants to say I didn't like it, I liked it, whatever, that's fine. But I don't, of course, I don't read any reviews before I see a movie. I'll read reviews after because I want to know what other people thought. Um, but I don't look at that stuff before I see it. I got to give my I got to give my take on it first. And I'm looking forward to doing that. Being that, Star Wars came out when I was in my mother's belly, you know, um, whenever I was in my mom's belly, Star Wars came out. So I feel like it's kind of ingrained in my DNA, and this is a big moment for me because I've been around for all of it. And I'm looking forward to being around for this quote unquote end. I mean, even though I know it's not the end and we're getting shows and everything else, we're getting new Clone Wars, we're getting the Obi-Wan show, we got the Mandalorian. I don't know if, I know that the Game of Thrones guys stuff got canceled. I'm sure Ryan Johnson stuff's probably still going to happen. So there's still going to be plenty of Star Wars, but I've been around for the Skywalker saga, and I'm looking forward to seeing it conclude. And we don't have that long to wait now. Apparently, they're still editing and everything, which is scary considering the fact it's November. It comes out in December. Let's see. Daniel joins us. Hello, sorry. Hey, Daniel, how you doing, bud? He says, rest in peace, Chloe, Brad's cat. Do I have any memories of Chloe? Not specific memories, but I will say this. Anytime I was at Brad's place, Chloe was always just the sweetest cat. And always just wanted to hang. I mean, anytime I came there, Chloe would always be in my lap or next to me, and just sweet cat. And really, I mean, she was a sweetheart. That's really all I can say is she was a sweetheart. I always joked with him that that Lloyd's a diva and Chloe should really be the star, and we always joked about that. But yeah, Chloe was just a sweetheart of a cat and was always always wanted to just hang out and loved to have her back scratched and all that stuff, and her neck scratched. She was just a sweet cat. I mean, and yeah, she was definitely missed. I haven't seen Brad since he moved, but I'm sure the next time I see him, and if I go to where he's at, if I go to his place, it's gonna be weird not seeing Chloe there. Zepster says, what you do, you order a McRib and you get an order of nugs and put that in the sandwich and then cover it in more barbecue. That sounds like a dream and a heart attack waiting to happen. And of course he says, fat ass life hacks. Yeah, that sounds like something I would try though. I mean, I am ashamed. Okay, I'm not too ashamed to admit that I've had the land, sea, and air at McDonald's. That's where you get the even though I don't know why they call it the air, because chickens can't fly. But you get the chicken sandwich, a hamburger, and the fish, and you put it on one sandwich. It's not that good, but, I can say I tried it. Let's say, Two Dudes Review says, and for breakfast, you can have the new donut sticks. If I go to breakfast McDonald's, I gotta have a biscuit sandwich or something. I don't like donut sticks that much. I don't like donuts that much. I know that's weird. Every now and then I'll get in the donut mood, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd have those or not. Bill Casey. Okay, I've been waiting. I saw this comment pop up, and I couldn't believe it when I read it, and I can't believe what I'm going to say right now. Bill says, the producer of Harriet said the studio executive in 1994 wanted Julia Roberts to play Harriet Tubman. That's just so dumb that I can believe it. I could see that being a thing. And of course they would have her, do blackface or whatever. I understood the joke in like Tropic Thunder where they had Robert Downey Jr. Do quote unquote blackface. I understood why he did. They were making fun of the whole idea of it. But the fact that a Harriet movie would be serious and they would want Julia Roberts to be serious and have her play Harriet Tubman serious, yeah, you wouldn't be able to take that seriously. And he says, I wish this was a joke. Yeah, I can totally believe that. I could see a studio saying something that stupid. And I didn't get to see Harriet. I don't know if it's any good, but I did like who was in it. So, yeah, I don't, again, I can believe how dumb just as dumb as that statement is, I can totally believe Hollywood would think that way. A Hollywood studio exec would think that. Paul says, don't think Cats is going to beat Rise of Skywalker at the box office. Nope, I don't think so either. Yeah, they picked a weird weekend to come out. I'm honestly surprised Cats isn't coming out on Christmas. I know that Star Wars is the week before, awful close to Christmas. I was surprised. I figured they'd go a week before that, but they just want to own that Christmas season, I guess. Let's see. Zipster says Bill Casey. That meme is the best. Oh, that meme is the best. Let's see. Let's see. Two Dudes says Paul Green, Cats look scary as hell. Yeah, I got to see the new trailer. I watched. I didn't watch the trailer myself, but I watched a reaction. I know I don't watch a lot of reaction videos, but I was supporting Narcotic Casserole Productions, and he did. I know he's a theater guy, so I was okay watching his reaction video because he is a theater guy, and I watched it that way. That second trailer did no favors for bringing up anyone's interest for that movie. It's sad too because I like some of the people in it. I mean, you got Judi Dench, you got Ian McKellen. You know, there's a few people I kind of like. So I'm sad to see they're in it. But yeah, that trailer does nothing for me. Yeah. And the second one, the first one, I was like, okay, that's weird. And it's even weirder now. I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, all the jokes have been said about furries are having a field day kind of thing. You know, it's, you know, and if that's your thing, cool, fine. It's not mine, man. It's creepy to me just seeing how they're trying to make them look human and kind of sexualize them, and it's weird. I mean, all the pictures you see of Taylor Swift's characters from the side so you can see her curves and stuff, it's weird, man. It's just weird for me. Yeah, it does look scary as hell. Bryce says, so the Shia LaBeouf biopic starring him as his father, will it be good or weird or both? Both, I think. I haven't seen it around here, so I haven't been able to go see it, but I'm hearing it's good. Shia LaBeouf, when he keeps his head on straight, he's good. Peanut Butter Falcon, I mean, I've talked about that movie before. He's fantastic in it. He's a good actor. And I mean, this is kind of all his vision, so, you know, I don't know what kind of vision we're going to get, but I am curious to see it. Let's see. Where was I? Daniel says, we miss Chloe as much as how Michael Bay missed the point when he made Pearl Harbor. I will miss Chloe a lot more than that. Chloe was a sweetheart. I always loved seeing Chloe when I was over there. But yes, Michael did miss the point. Two Dudes Reese says, Julia Roberts going from pretty woman to blackface. Yeah, that probably would not have helped her career very much, because, I mean, that would have been a huge controversy, I'm sure. Daniel says, what I was trying to say, Pearl Harbor sucks and we'll miss Chloe. Yeah. Daniel says, have you seen Playing with Fire yet? I did talk about that earlier before you were here. Yes, I've seen it, and then Andy and I did see it, but he wasn't, long story short, he wasn't in a movie mood. So we're going to wait until it comes out on video. We're going to watch it again, then we'll talk about it. So yes, I have seen it, but we're waiting on that. And yeah, it's going to be way late, but I don't care. I mean, if it was, let's just say this, if it was worth seeing, I would have talked about it by now. Bill says, apparently the studio executive wanted to make Harriet Tubman, white, and thought no one would know the difference. Oh my God. He wanted to make Harriet Tubman white and thought no one would know the difference. That studio executive is a moron. And that's I don't know which one's more insulting, putting Julia Roberts in blackface or pretending that Harriet Tubman was white. I don't know. They're both equally stupid. I don't know which one's worse. Again, I could see Hollywood doing that. I mean, they turned Joel Edgerton into an Egyptian, and I love that guy. Um, let's see. Bill says, "I'll say this about Cats. It's unique. It looks like a complete train wreck, but it looks like anything else you'll see." Here's the thing. I think they've already showed us the end to that movie in the trailers. That part where they're in front of the statue and they're kind of posing. That looks like the final shot of the movie. Um, but look, I've never seen Cats. I will say that I've never seen Cats. I know what it is. I know it was a popular stage show. But I've never seen it, so I don't know anything about it. I'm hoping I like the story, but I know I've heard. Look, it's a musical, and they're not focusing on the music; they're focusing on the dancing. Um, so are you trying to hide something? I mean, I don't know. I have a feeling they are just waiting for the inevitable train wreck, as you said. So, um, I mean, of course I'm going to see it. It's a train wreck. You got to watch, right? Paul says, "Is the Wolf Hour a female version of Joker? What happened in Gotham? I don't know what the Wolf Hour is. Um, what's the Wolf Hour? I don't know what that is." Um, Daniel says, "I don't think it's a good idea for Tom Hooper to sexualize the cats because he's not Michael Bay. It's not a good idea for Michael Bay to sexualize the cats. That being said, if you would have made that Thundercats movie, let's see. Ryan Waldron says, "Hey there, how you doing, Ryan?" Um, let's see. Bryce says, "Are you gonna see Pain and Glory? Pedro I'm going to mispronounce that. Almodovar is a great director. Antonio Banderas with Penelope Cruz is a good pairing. With that and Bong Joon-ho's Parasite, foreign directors are in. I'll definitely check it out if I get a chance to. I really want to see Parasite. I've heard nothing but good things about it. But yeah, I mean, if I get a chance to see it, I'll see it. I like seeing what foreign directors can do. There's a lot of foreign films that are some of my favorite of all time. Old Boy for a good example. The Raid and The Raid 2. Movies like that. I love to see what foreign directors like, the ideas that they have that sometimes are even like radically different, or they pair really well with what we like over here. Daniel says, "P.S. Sorry that you didn't get a chance to see Arctic Dogs like you wanted. You wouldn't have, despite that piece of crap." Yeah, it came in this last month, I think, and honestly, I think it didn't come to Decatur. If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't here in town, and I wasn't traveling for that movie. Ryan says, "How's it feel knowing that Sesame Street turned 50 years old this year? And did you watch the 50th anniversary special?" Yes, I did. And I was teasing earlier. Now that someone brought it up, I was teasing earlier that I have once this is over, I have a new review to put up, and that is the review. I am reviewing the 50th anniversary special. I was trying to keep it, a secret and tease it and hope you check out the channel. But that's what I'm gonna. Once we're done here tonight, it's ready to go. I have a new Crossing Streams where I do talk about it. I've seen it twice now, so let's just say I liked it. And I'll release the review when we're done here tonight. Kanto joins us. Didn't Bill say that this Julia Roberts Harriet Tubman was going to be in 1994? Well, that was same year as Rob Reiner's North. Yeah. God, I still can't. Again, I still can believe someone said that. I'm trying to get the idea out of my head of Julia Roberts playing Harriet Tubman, and now I can't. Thanks. It's just so stupid. Let's see. Where was I? Sorry, I gotta find here. Oh, Daniel, how many minutes you saw of Playing with Fire until you left? I stayed for the whole thing both times. When Andy and I saw it, and when I saw it by myself. I don't walk out of movies. I just can't. There's times I've wanted to walk out, and that one I don't know. I've seen worse movies than Playing with Fire. Playing with Fire was very Looney Tunes. I mean, it's from Nickelodeon. I wasn't surprised, but just like the comedy and stuff was very Looney Tunes, with a little poo-poo humor thrown in there. Um, let's see. Ryan says, "Do you have a favorite Sesame Street song?" Yes, I do. Um, Even though I don't know if it would be really considered a song. I am a huge Grover fan, so I love the Near and Far. I know they did Near and Far first, where it was just a skit, but then they did a song where it was going around, around, over, under, and through Near, Far. Um, but um, when it comes to all the others, it's hard to really pick a favorite. Um, I love like Sing a Song was a good one. I'm trying to think of the ones that were. See, when I watched the 50th anniversary special, I'm not gonna lie, I teared up a bit at a couple times, and if you watch the video, it'll explain, especially one really cool moment when my son and I were watching it. Um, but like during Sing a Song, the host of the show uh, started singing it, and it worked really well. And I just I say host of the show because I don't. If you don't know who's the host, definitely just watch the show. I don't want to spoil much about it because it was so good. It wasn't like the most original show ever, but it was definitely just a lot of callbacks, and some of them were fantastic, and I loved it. But yeah, you know, there's hardly a song on Sesame Street that I don't like, and I know they aren't all classics, but I loved it like when REM was on there and they did Shiny Happy People, but with Shiny Happy Monsters. That was fun. I loved it, especially when the musical. There was a John Legend one that he did with Hoots the Owl that I really like. I mean, there's so many. But again, I think my all-time favorite is the Grover Near Far quote unquote song. And of course, you gotta love stuff like Rubber Ducky and all that. Paul says, let me see. Oh, The Wolf Hour. It's a Naomi Watts movie. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen anything on that. I'll have to look into that one. Two Dudes Review says Michael Bay doing Thundercats wouldn't be the first time he killed a childhood franchise. Yeah, the movie Six Underground was rumored to be Thundercats there for a while. Look up on Twitter. Look up Boss Logic, BOSSLOGIC. He does a lot of artwork. Using like a lot of like whenever they say someone's gonna play. Like when Robert Pattinson's going to play Batman, he does some Photoshop stuff to make Robert Pattinson Batman. Well, he did a Michael Bay Thundercats with the cast of Six Underground. And that was the rumor that it was going to be Thundercats, and that Ryan Reynolds was going to be Lion-O. Of course, we know it became Six Underground, but yeah, and of course, it wouldn't be the first time he had his way with things I loved as a child. Dale says, I'm so hyped for Frozen 2, seeing it tomorrow, as am I. I'm not as hyped as you. I'm afraid of it, but we talked about that earlier. Ryan says, in the words of Avenue Q, everyone's a little racist sometimes. That's a show I've never got to see all of. That's one I really want to see. And it's honestly, that show is what I was, from what I heard about Avenue Q, that's what I wanted the Happy Time Murders to be. And there was glints of it in there, just little bits and pieces of it in there. But of course, it didn't live up to what I was hoping it would be. But yeah, everyone's a little racist sometimes. I have heard that song. His song's pretty funny. Bryce says, First Love is a good film this year, by Takashi. Is it Miike? But I think it got overshadowed by Parasite since it came to America around the same time. Yeah, anytime we have some theaters, like the Art Theater in Champaign that gets movies like that, and I just don't get to make it over there anymore. It's sad, but I definitely want to see some of that stuff. In Normal, there's a art theater over there I really like going to. I haven't got to go there in a while that shows movies like that too. I did have Parasite, but I couldn't make it over there. Bill says, "I don't want to live on the moon" by Ernie is phenomenal. Yeah, that's a good one. Again, there's hardly a song on Sesame Street that you can mention, and it's not good. Um, let's see, where was I? Bryson says, "Gino, I know you're a gamer. Not as much as I like to be, but somewhat. So just hypothetical, do you think Hideo Kojima could be a director?" And could be a director. And if I played any Death Stranding, I think he could be a director, but you would have to rein him in because if you look at like how long some of the cutscenes, I haven't played a lot of the Metal Gear Solid games, but I've heard that the cutscenes are obnoxiously long. Um, I think if you reined him in a bit, he could be a good director. Because but then again, you give him free reign, the movie's going to be 10 hours long. And if I played Death Stranding, no, I haven't. I probably won't get to. Um, when it comes to consoles, I still have a Wii and an Xbox 360. I do have Steam. I don't know if it's on there, but there's so many other games I want to play first before I play that one. I know Desiree's not here tonight. She's working, but I know she's been playing it. So if you talk to her on Twitter, she would probably be able to tell you more about that than me. Um, because I think she really likes it. Let's see. Daniel says thoughts that the Kingsman got delayed to September 2020. I didn't know that. It doesn't bother me. I think it was supposed to come out Valentine's Day, if I'm not mistaken. I know there's some other stuff coming out on Valentine's Day that'll help me get through that day. Thankfully, there's not a 50 Shades movie coming out that I know of. I'm fine with it. If it needed work, it needed work. I wasn't too excited for the Kingsman. The trailer looked okay, but I would have rather have seen a continuation versus a prequel. Who knows why they went backwards. I'm fine with it though. It wasn't one I was like hugely looking forward to. I wanted to see it. I just wasn't excited for it. Bill says there was a skit where Billy Joel plays Just the Way You Are to Oscar the Grouch. Again, amazing. Let's see. Bryson says the CGI James Dean movie makes me feel uncomfortable. It somehow feels gross to do it for a full movie. Yeah, the idea is weird because people keep bringing up the Tarkin thing in Rogue One, but it's like that wasn't a whole movie, and you had, and I know this James Dean thing has the I know the James Dean movie has the family's blessing and everything, but I mean, you're taking a real person that existed and they've been gone a long time, and you're forcing them into a movie. I don't know. It is kind of weird. Especially if they're making him like the star, because I mean, this is only going to be the beginning. We're going to get Marilyn Monroe. We're going to get all sorts of things. Granted, I mean, we got holograms of people doing concerts, like Biggie and Tupac and stuff. It's just technology, man. They're gonna do it, and I always say I gotta take Hollywood how they give it to me, and so I'm gonna see it. I mean, I don't have a real huge like James Dean knowledge. I mean, I've seen however many movies he had. I've only seen like one or maybe two. I can't remember. He didn't have a lot of movies, I remember, but I'm curious. It makes me curious. So uh, I am curious what they're going to do with it. Is it going to be good? I don't know. But this isn't going to be the end. This is only the beginning. Elvis will be back soon, and just stars that left us too soon are going to be back soon. It's strange. I am curious. That being said, if you granted again it wasn't for a whole movie, but look at something like they did where they put like Forrest Gump in scenes with famous people, and I mean it's not the first time it's been done, but for a whole movie, I am curious what's going to happen with that. We'll see what happens. I mean, it could be a major flop. It could be cool. I don't know. It does feel a little weird though, at least from right now. For right now. Ryan says, I met one of the stars of Arctic Dogs a few weeks ago, legendary John Cleese. I'm sure that was amazing. He says, super nice. Though I didn't bring up Arctic dogs. That's probably a good idea. Um, I'm sure that was just a paycheck for him. Daniel says, remember watching The Phantom Menace theaters back in 1999, midnight. Let's see. You're asking, do I remember? Let's see. Yes, I do. I don't remember if I saw it at midnight or not, though. I just don't remember. I know I saw it like 3 times in the theater, though. And I remember thinking, I kind of like this, but something is wrong. And it took me years to figure it out. And then, because I wanted to love it. And then we started getting the other stuff, and I think that's when I started realizing we were in trouble. Even though thankfully things like the Clone Wars and Rebels kind of brought the stuff that was created in the Phantom Menace, kind of made it a little better. Let's see, Ryan says he didn't mean to bring up Arc. That's what I thought you meant. Desiree says, I happened to drop in just as I was mentioned, taking a break video. Definitely needs someone, I'm guessing you're saying, who can edit him. Yeah, I just know that, like, again, stuff like Metal Gear was just insanely long. And yeah, he would be like, here's my masterpiece. It's 20 hours long. No Hollywood studio would ever let him do that. Let's see. Tudu says, Daniel, sorry you waste your money for that, bro. Tudu also says, Elmo Palooza is overall fantastic. I like Elmo Palooza, but I'm in the minority that likes Elmo and Grouchland better. It's nothing against Elmo Palooza. I just love Elmo and Grouchland because you got Mandy Patinkin and it's got Vanessa Williams, who I've always had a huge crush on. And, it's the movie in a way is a little whiny. Elmo's a little whiny in it, but overall it's a fun movie. Elmo Palooza is cool too. I have a collection DVD. I don't remember the exact name, but as a big Grover fan, it's called In Celebration of Grover, I think. And basically it's Grover at an award show. They're giving him like a Lifetime Achievement Award, but he's also doing all the jobs at the award show. He's like the waiter and everything else at his own award show. That for me, that's like my favorite quote unquote movie, just because I'm a big Grover fan, though. I know it's not a full movie, but I do love it. Desiree says Death Stranding has neat ideas and excellent acting, but dang, does he need someone to be like, you sure you want to do that? Like I said, she's the resident. Desiree's kind of my resident video game expert. She plays a lot. Paul says Sonic is coming out on Valentine's Day. Oh yeah. I will say this. The new trailer helped a little. It didn't help a lot. I do of course like the overall redesign. It's way better. I still think that movie's gonna need to be saved from Jim Carrey though. I think it's gonna be Jim Carrey going way too overboard. But hopefully he doesn't get to go too overboard, but I think that's really what's going to happen. Let's see. Where was I? Bill says there's a movie coming out called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent where Nicolas Cage... Yeah, it's the Nicolas Cage plays Nicolas Cage and Nicolas Cage the movie, yeah. Plays himself in Death to Cartels where he falls into an action hero situation. Hey, I'm all for it. Desiree and I were talking about that on Twitter, and it's just like, she's like, is this crazy or what? It's like, it's everything. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for it. Just if anyone's gonna play themselves in a movie and themselves the movie, it's Nicolas Cage that I would want to see. Maybe Michael Shannon would be another one I'd love to see do a movie like that. Daniel says, I didn't see The Phantom Menace in 1999. He was in his mom's belly at that time. Hey, you're just like me for Star Wars, man. When Star Wars came out, I was in my mom's belly too. It's in our DNA, brother. Ryan says, did you watch Green Eggs and Ham yet? I'm not exaggerating when I say it's one of the biggest TV surprises of the year. We watched it for a little bit. I showed it to Andy, but he's not been in a real Seuss mood. We used to watch a lot of the Cat in the Hat cartoons and stuff. Not the movie. My other son liked the movie because, of course, it's insanely stupid. Um, but we watched it for a little bit, and so it's one I do want to check out as a lover of Dr. Seuss. I definitely want to check it out, but I haven't got to watch. I got to watch like half an episode. It looked like it could be good. Paul says, did I like the trailer for the new SpongeBob SquarePants movie? Um, my biggest surprise for that was the animation they were using. They weren't using the old animation. Then again, I shouldn't be too surprised. I thought the Keanu Reeves part was really funny. Um, the SpongeBob movies were ones that really had to grow on me. I wasn't into SpongeBob. It was kind of past my time. Um, but you can go back and especially like watch my review of the last SpongeBob movie, and I remember it feeling just like noise, right? And I didn't like it, but then I saw it again, and the more I see it, the more I appreciate it. I think that's something you got to do with SpongeBob movies is you got to see them more than once, because if you can get past a lot of the noise, um, if you can get past a lot of the noise, SpongeBob can be really clever, and I'm kind of hoping that's what we get with this movie too. Bryson says the new Black Christmas looks weird. I feel like the trailer shows the whole movie frat is actually a cult or versus sorority. I don't mind girl power movies, but it would have been cool if it wasn't revealed. It was the frat doing the killing. Yeah, that movie or the trailer gave away everything. I think, unless there's some surprise we don't know about. Um, I think they pretty much gave away everything, and it's kind of unfortunate. Um, yeah, I mean, the trailer looked okay. It looked like it could be fun. But yeah, I wish they wouldn't have showed the stuff with the, because I know it's a remake. At least it could be a remake of a remake kind of thing. If I understood it right, like this, is like the second or third Black Christmas movie, maybe even be more. I don't know. I haven't seen any of them. Um, but the trailer, yeah, just it looked like it gave you the whole story. I hope that's not the case, but I have a feeling it is. Two Dude says Elmo and Grouchland is great too, but Elmo gets tag grading. Yeah, he's kind of whiny in that one, so that's a bit unfortunate. But it's still, again, it's who's in it. I think is why I enjoy it. Daniel says, have I seen the trailer for Scoob? No, haven't had a chance to yet, but I've heard that none of the voices sound right except Scooby, because of course Scooby's the same. But the rest of them are new actors. It's unfortunate. It really is. That's one of those things where it's been done a certain way for so long that you don't change it. I always understood, even though it's weird. We'll use Sesame Street and the Muppets, for example. Like when Jim Henson died, of course you're gonna have to replace them. Um, because they're not around anymore. So of course Kermit's going to sound weird or whatever. But when it comes to the cast of the newer Scooby-Doo cartoons, the cast is still there and they're great. And I see someone Two Dudes brings up Matthew Lillard. He's perfect. Yeah, he looks and sounds like Shaggy. I mean, if anything, I mean, yeah, those Scooby-Doo live action movies weren't great, but at least the characters were done really well, especially Matthew Lillard. Um, but yeah, it's I don't I like the idea of like the new animation and everything. I'm fine with that. But not the at least I think it's animated, right? See, again, I haven't seen the trailer. I've just heard they were doing it. I imagine it's animated because if they're just using voice actors. Sorry, a little tired. But yeah, it's if they don't sound right, it's weird because again, I still like when I was watching the Sesame Street Big Bird just sounds weird because Carol Spinney isn't doing it anymore. And I saw an interview with him not too long ago, and he does the voice too, so he can do the Big Bird voice. And he sounds just like Big Bird because he's Big Bird. But the new voice, I mean, it sounds fine, but it doesn't feel the same. And granted, I know he's been around pretty much since from the beginning, and he needed to retire. I mean, but It just, I mean, changes, yeah, have to be made, but make them when they have to be made, not because you just want to attach bigger names to it. Paul says the first SpongeBob movie is great. I don't remember the first one. I know the only one I ever remember is the last one they did because I saw it a few times more than I saw the first SpongeBob movie. I remember liking it after a while. Um, Kanto says, I felt the same way about the Pet Cemetery trailer. Trailer gives away way too damn much. Yeah, that movie. I mean, yeah, they give away like which kid gets hit and everything, all in the trailer. That would have been a nice twist if you hadn't known that, even though that movie wasn't very good anyway. Um, it's just, yeah, I hate it when a trailer gives away too much. I always bring up, I don't remember the name of it now, but it's a movie that had Daniel Craig in it, where he, like, the big twist was he was a ghost or something like that, and it was, you know, they tell you that in the trailer. That's like the big twist, and they tell it to you. And I thought, okay, maybe there's another twist. Nope, not really. Yeah, it was a very forgettable movie because of that. Kanto says the original Black Christmas is a very good movie. I've heard that. Um, it's one I definitely need to check out. Ryan says, do you think Matthew Lillard is aware of the Shaggy Sentai meme? I don't think I've seen that. What's the Shaggy Sentai meme? I know he wasn't real happy he got replaced. Excuse me. I guess he got replaced, and they were just like, they didn't tell him, and they just announced they're doing something new, and he wasn't involved. Daniel says, remember Shrek? Yes, and I remember not wanting to explain to my kids certain songs in that movie and certain scenes in that movie. I don't want to explain that Robin Hood was talking about, and I didn't want to explain that that whatever the prince or king or the bad guy, that he, when he was watching the magic mirror and was like, show me again what he was doing in his bed. I didn't want to have to explain that stuff. Let's see. Bryson says Robert Downey Jr., better Dr. Dolittle and Eddie Murphy. Speaking of Murphy, you going to see the Dolomite film? I don't think I recall a review. I haven't had a chance to watch the Dolomite movie yet. Again, it's just being able to have the time to do it. I want to see it. I think the Robert Downey Jr. Dr. Dolittle, is he going to be better? It just depends on what's the better movie. I mean, the Eddie Murphy movie, the first, what was there, 2? I think there was 2, right? The first one was okay. I don't remember thinking much of the second one. I think if there was 2, I don't remember. The Robert Downey Jr. movie is just going to be a different movie. It looks more like just an adventure movie. And as long as it's a fun adventure movie, I don't know if you'd say it's better. They're just different kind of movies. I am curious about the Robert Downey Jr. one. The problem with Robert Downey Jr. is that he's going to have such a hard time living past Iron Man now. That anything he does, people are going to be like, I know you're gone from as Iron Man. What are you going to do now? And I don't know. Robert Downey Jr. needs to kind of go on a career resurgence. I know people are looking forward to another Sherlock Holmes with him and stuff, but I'd love to see him do something like really serious, to try to change up his career a little bit. Because I know he's better. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think one of the best roles he ever played is Tony Stark. I'm not saying he needs to, move on, but he needs to do some different things to kind of separate himself from people just seeing Tony Stark when they see him. Kanto says, was the Daniel Craig movie I was talking about Dreamhouse? That sounds right. That sounds about right. Yeah, because it was like there was something like the camera, something, he saw the video or something, and he wasn't there. I don't remember. He wasn't there, and he realized he was a ghost. The movie could have been good if they hadn't given everything away. Daniel says, remember Ants? I remember Ants, the anime movie with Woody Allen. I remember a lot of people liked Ants better than A Bug's Life. I would disagree with that. I love Bug's Life. Paul says, can't wait for HBO Max streaming to start. Do you think the DC hero shows will be streaming on it Also, Looney Tunes Batman the Anime Cartoon Series. Man, that's a whole confusing thing because a lot of people think the DC Universe app is going away, and it's all going to go to HBO Max. But from what it sounds like, is they're going to have both, where like the new shows or the new seasons of some of the shows are going to be on both, and then the DC stuff's going to stick around and have all the comic books and stuff. If they move all the shows over to HBO Max, I'll just get HBO Max, as I kind of planned on getting it anyway. But I don't know if they're moving everything or if they're just doing some of the newer shows. I don't think they're moving everything over there. If they do, though, they move everything over there. I don't have DC Universe for the comic books. I have it for the shows. So I'll probably just do that. Get HBO Max instead. But I don't know exactly what they're doing. But it sounds like it's going to be on both things for a while. But I do like some of the stuff they are introducing for HBO Max. I'm probably going to have to get it. At least for a while. I don't like that you can't pay for it for a year. I'm at this point where I want to pay for services for a year and be done with it. Let's see. And then like for Batman the Animated Series, they don't even have all the seasons on there, I don't think, on DC Universe. They might. I know there's some seasons of some shows missing. I just don't remember. I don't remember which ones, because I don't have it right in front of me. Two Doozery says it does not help that Tom Holland is in Dr. Dolittle with RDJ. He isn't a lot this year. Yeah, Tom Holland isn't a lot of things this year. I'm just happy he's back as Spider-Man, at least for a while. Bill says, honestly, just put Holland and RDJ in every movie. I don't know. I could see them making them like a duo, because they work very well together. That being said, for me, I don't know if it could be any more special than Spidey and Tony Stark. Bryce says, speaking of Resurgence, Uncut Gems comes out December 13th. I really want to see a good Sandler film. I do too. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I don't remember if I got my screener invite, but I know it's on the schedule. I am looking forward to seeing it. I'm going to be doing, if I get to see it, I'm going to be doing a dual review with that and that, whatever that movie he did with Jennifer Aniston on Netflix together, kind of a double feature of Adam Sandler. But I got to see it if it comes around me first. I don't think I can make the screening. But I am looking forward to seeing that movie. Daniel says, the early DreamWorks animation movies like Ants, The Prince of Egypt, The Road to El Dorado, Sinbad, Shark Tale were geared towards adults and more inappropriate for kids. Yeah, there was definitely a lot of those movies, weren't made for the youngins. Daniel says, I have friends who have parents that won't let them watch Shrek movies, Ants and El Dorado until they're 17. That's a little much. I think especially like the later Shrek movies, they knew they had something for kids. They kind of toned them down a little bit. Because the first Shrek movie definitely had more adult jokes than the rest of them. Yeah, DreamWorks kind of, they tried something there, but they toned it down after a while. The more adult content. Kanto says, I second that. Have Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr. play Batman and Robin. I don't know if I want to see that. That being said, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. has already played Marvel's version of Batman, technically. I mean, I guess you'd say that's Moon Knight, but the millionaire or billionaire superhero that uses technology and his money to be a superhero. And Tom Holland, of course, probably could play a good Robin, I can imagine. Which Robin would he be, though? Would he be Dick Grayson? He probably wouldn't be. He wouldn't be Jason Todd. Would he be Dick Grayson? Would he be? Which one would he be? Tim Drake. Let's see. Bryce says, Bad Boys for Life a sequel we need. Most likely not. I think Smith's career is going into decline. I don't think the trailer for that movie looks too bad. Is it a necessary movie? No, but he seems to be on that One Last Time tour. Granted, I still don't know why he didn't do Independence Day. Probably glad he didn't. the new Independence Day. Probably glad I didn't do it, but um, you know, I don't know. I don't know why they're doing another Bad Boys, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, Smith. I don't know. He just for the longest time, I felt like Smith was trying too hard to get an Oscar, and he kind of wasted some of his best years for some decent action movies and stuff because of it. But then he did. I can't think of the name of the movie now. I'm gonna have to look this one up. Hang on one sec. Um, I'm gonna feel dumb when I see it, but he did movies like where are you? It wasn't too long ago. Collateral Beauty and things like that. But granted, he did like Suicide Squad, and he was one of the better parts of it. He wasn't. I mean, he wasn't like a great. Like he wasn't like what I think of Deadshot, but then I mean, Gemini Man could have been good. I liked it okay. I'm not looking forward to Spies in Disguise. Um, but yeah, he's definitely he doesn't have the same career that he used to. Let's see, where was I? Two Dude says Tom Holland make a good Nightwing, honestly, so that'd make him Dick Grayson. So yeah, I don't know. He's a little young looking, so I don't know. I probably would make him Tim Drake, but that's just me. You could even, he probably wouldn't be a very good Damian Wayne. I don't know if he could be that like if he could be that kind of character, that you know, kind of snarky and mean, and you know, I don't know. I mean, he definitely probably do the athletics of Nightwing. Um, I don't know. He'd probably be Tim Drake for me. That's just me. Candace says, and have Tom Holland and RDJ play Abbott and Costello. I know that won't make a lick of sense, but let's go with it. Why not? Let's see. Daniel says, if DreamWorks haven't toned down their kids' movies, I wonder how Abominable will be like. I don't know. Yeah, I think they were smart to tone it down. I think they were just throwing a Hail Mary and whenever it came to their cartoons, and I mean, when Shrek, I mean, kids were wanting to watch Shrek, and it's like, well, we better make it for kids now. So I think they just tried to do something different. Yeah, I can't imagine what like their newer movies would be like. I don't want to. Um, Bill says Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd as 1960s Batman and Robin John C. Reilly as Gordon. You know, if they played it right, that could be cool. But if it ended up being like Holmes and Watson, I'd just want to shoot myself. Because if you were gonna do that movie, I mean, would you do it to where they're playing the actors playing the parts, or are they playing Batman and Robin? Is it a new? I don't know if I'd want to see a new Batman and Robin, but if they were playing, you know, the actors playing the parts, I don't know. I think that might be kind of neat. Paul says, "Do I like HBO's Watchmen? I think it's very good. I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I wanted to see it, and then I just can't afford HBO right now. But I want to see it, and I was gonna do a Gino's Bad at Games along with it. I was gonna play a Watchmen game, but then that kind of fell through. I'll eventually get to see it. I don't love the comic book. I like a lot of characters from the comic book, but the comic book isn't like one of my favorites of all time. I like it, and I like a lot about it. And of course, the Zack Snyder movie. I mean, it was definitely, for the most part, faithful, except for the stuff he changed. But you know, I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I really want to though. Daniel says, but I still want to hear you talk about Happy Feet because the way you said your quick thoughts on what it makes me think that it's your worst movie of all time. I don't know if it's the worst movie of all time, but it's definitely down there for me. One of these days I might take I have an article out there somewhere. I don't think it exists anymore, but I used to write a blog at the news station I work at, and I wrote something about Happy Feet, but I think they dumped all that stuff, so I don't think I have it anymore. If I ever find it, I'll post it though. because I remember not liking that, because I think I did it for movies I swore I'd never watch. But I don't remember. I used to have a segment called Movies I Swore I'd Never Watched. And the first thing I did was like Titanic, and I did Avatar, and I think Happy Feet was one of them, and there was a few others. I don't remember what they were. It was just kind of my way of forcing myself to watch movies I had no interest in. Bryson said, my top anticipated December film is 1917. Yeah, that trailer looks great. I'm not sure where they're going with that movie, but I'm really curious. Every trailer has me hooked. I think it'll be this year's Dunkirk, but it looks better to me, and Dunkirk was a good film. Yeah, Dunkirk was good. Of course, it was a Nolan film, so you couldn't hear half of what was going on because he likes his sound a little too loud. But yeah, 1917 does look very good. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if they're doing that one limited or not, though. Rob finally joins us from Smirking Every. He says, "Oh my God, I almost forgot you were doing this tonight. Hey, G, don't hear everyone else." Yeah, I talked about Rob at the very beginning, and since you're here now, again, Rob, congratulations for hitting 1,000 subscribers, buddy. I was so happy to see that happen for you. And I'll just say this now: if you haven't subscribed to Rob's channel, Smirking Gun Reviews, definitely do it. Does a lot of TV shows, does some gaming reviews and gameplay. Just definitely check out his channel, help him keep growing. I'll just say this, Rob: if you pass me up in subscribers, don't forget the little guy. Huh? No, man, I'm so happy for you, buddy. I was happy to see that you made it. I know you've been chasing that 1,000 for a while, and I was happy to see you get it over. It. Daniel says, "Wait, you never seen Titanic?" Before I became a reviewer, no, I hadn't. I didn't want to watch that. I had no interest in it. When people were saying, I've saw it 7 times, 8 times, or whatever, I just had no interest. And but when I became a critic, I was like, I'm gonna do a segment called Movies I Swore I'd Never Watch, and that was like the first one, because that is a movie that I was like, I am never gonna watch this movie, and then I finally watched it. It wasn't as bad as I thought. Now, at the time, I was a brand new critic, and I wasn't as open-minded about looking for the good and bad in every movie at the time. So, of course, I probably slammed it a little more than I would now. But I still think that movie has a lot of dumb in it. The whole thing with, the reason they hit the iceberg is because the spotter was watching the two lovebirds making out on the deck, and look, iceberg, and then they hit it, and of course there would have been room on the door for them and everything else. I mean, there's a lot of dumb in that movie. I'm not gonna rip on that movie for the technological achievements and everything, because it did a lot of great technological stuff, but story wise, I thought that movie was pretty weak. Kanto says, "I personally love the comic Watchmen, but I think the changes Snyder made worked better for the movie." Yeah, because I don't think they planned on continuing or anything, so they didn't do the alien or anything like that. I would have liked them. I think they did it for budget reasons, not having the alien. That's what I don't like. They didn't do it because it made more sense, even though what they did was fine. But that being said, think about this. If they, granted, yeah, you could see the villain doing cloning and stuff anyway, but what was the point of him doing the cloning and creating the cat if he wasn't going to create the alien? There's just little things like that Snyder changed. That's like, well, now he's still got the cat, and there's just no reason except for him to have the cat, because the cat was like the testing for creating the alien. So I mean, yeah, the changes made were fine. And blaming Dr. Manhattan at the end did make a lot of sense. But one of the things I liked about the comic was the aliens. So, and how like the alien invasion brought the world together, kind of thing. So, I mean, I do like the comic. It's just not one of mine where I'm, I don't love everything about it. But again, it's a very good story. I love Rorschach. He's one of my favorite comic characters of all time. I mean, of course, he's a huge part of that one. Daniel says 1917 might be good because it has director Skyfall, but it might be bad because it has a director of Spectre. That's a good point. It looks like it'll be good. I really do hope it's good. Paul says, "Hi, Rob." Bill says, "The door would have sank with 2 people on it." There's the argument. Who knows? I mean, of course, they just wanted to tell a story they wanted to tell. Um, who knows? Who knows if it could have held him or not? We will never know because they didn't try. Um, Daniel says, what made you not want to see Titanic in the theaters? Because everyone was saying how great it was. And as someone at that time, and probably still kind of am, is very cynical of love stories. I don't like stupid love stories. I like love stories that are interesting, and that one was not interesting to me. And after I saw it, it still wasn't. Two Dude says Titanic is dumb, but Pearl Harbor is insulting. Looking forward to Midway. Yes, Titanic is a historical masterpiece compared to Pearl Harbor, and Midway isn't. I had issues with it, but it's not. It is definitely not Pearl Harbor. It is, at least it may be very dicey because it goes in too many directions, but Midway is at least a decent movie. Um, Rob says thanks so much, but now that we've hit it, it just about making good content, making more connections with others like you, and just growing the community. But thanks for all your help. Hey man, you're a good dude. I've enjoyed working with you. I know I'd love to work with you again. It's going to be, of course, it's always tough to get together, but we'll figure something out. It's just, yeah, man, just keep putting the good content out there. Just have a good time. I mean, if all else, I mean, of course, I at times I think about, why isn't my stuff growing? Why, we all think that, even though I shouldn't care. We shouldn't care. We should just be having a good time. And it's just, you know, just keep going. I am glad that you got to hit that mark. I was happy for you whenever I saw it happen. I tried to push it as much as I could. And you brought up Narcotic Casserole. Me and him have talked some. He's a good dude. And I was glad to see he helped out and subscribed to your channel as well. Whenever you mentioned him, I was like, oh, cool. He definitely helped you get past that mark. I was happy to see it happen for you, buddy. Kanto says that's actually a very good point. Didn't even think of that. Let's see. Oh, if you're talking about the cloning of Watchmen, yeah, it was just weird. If that's what you're referring to, I was just like, yeah, I saw that cat, and I'm like, well, if we're not doing the alien, what's the point of the cat? Even though it's like I could see the villain doing that anyway because he's just that kind of guy. He would just create something like that. But yeah, it was just kind of I think it was something that Snyder missed. I really do. I just think he wanted to do the cat, and then he couldn't have the alien. Let's see. Daniel says Titanic is amazing, but Pearl Harbor sucks. But it does have some amazing visuals and a good attack on Pearl Harbor. Look, I mean, yeah, of course it goes boom a lot, but man, is that story insulting. I felt bad for the people that were really involved. Now, when I watched Midway, I didn't feel so bad because they were using a lot of the real people, and I don't remember if Pearl Harbor, because it's been so long since I've seen it, I don't remember if they used a lot of real people, but at least Midway tried to use real people. That were involved. I mean, half the movie's credits is talking about this is this person, this is that person. There was a bunch of them. And again, I felt like they were trying to tell too much, but there was a lot of people involved in that story. And I don't know if I can call Titanic amazing. Sorry, I just can't. Hey, if you love it, hey, cool with me, man. But I cannot call it amazing. Two Dude says, congrats on the new milestone, Rob. Yeah, man, I'm so happy for you. Whenever it happened for you. I mean, just I could see the joy in your face last night. I got to watch just a little bit at the first, and after I commented, I had to go to sleep. But I could just see the joy in your face after you finally got your stream. I know you were having streaming issues, and that's YouTube for you. But but I was happy. I could see that happiness in your face, buddy. I'm just happy for you. Bill says, they could have theoretically put their life jackets under the door for buoyancy, but they aren't MacGyver. Yeah, they just weren't thinking about that. So many theories. Let's see. Daniel says, the theater I work at now didn't play Titanic at theaters because there was another theater now turned to second run theater. That was 1.6 miles from my theater. They were showing it. Man, our town don't have any problem with that. And it's like we have 3 theaters in town, 2 of them are AMC's, and they don't mind showing all the same stuff. Even the Avon doesn't mind if they have to. All right, guys. If you got anything else you want to talk about, definitely put it in. We'll get to it. But I'm gonna probably wrap it up here pretty soon because I'm pretty beat and I've got a long week ahead of me. Again, I'm hoping to get caught up on the channel soon. I'm hoping to do new Gino's Bad at Games as soon as I'm done here tonight. I am gonna upload the Sesame Street 50th anniversary review, and it's one you should check out. I definitely highly recommend the show, but I mean definitely check out the review after I put it up. It was a lot of fun watching. It was a lot of fun recording the review. I kind of wish I had thought about it. I had some puppets and some stuffed animals I wish I would have used during it, but I had 2 reviews to do today, or 2 videos to do today, so I didn't have time to do everything I wanted. But you know, I definitely had a lot of fun watching it, and definitely a lot of fun recording the video. Two Dude says, can't wait to see the Irishman at the Avon. I'm going to try to see it on Friday, I think. I got to go and get the tickets, because I know they're only doing 2 showings of it. So, you know, it's, yeah, I was going to see that 21 Bridges, but I guess I'm going to have to wait to Saturday to see that, or maybe even Sunday, because I kind of want to see the Irishman, even though it's 2.5 hours long. I gotta go talk to them and get tickets tomorrow, I think. Daniel says, movie theaters have this rule: if both theaters are not more than 3 miles away, they can't play some movies and have to bid, and the theater with the most bids keeps the movie. That's interesting. I can see that being a thing, though. Paul says, are you gonna review A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood? Yeah, I'm seeing it tomorrow. Seeing it tomorrow at like 4:30. So hopefully Friday I should have the review up for that. Should be the case. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how work is and everything. So anyway, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up for the night. If you've got any more questions, comments, whatever, definitely you can put them in the comment section after the video comes up. The video will go to unlisted after we stop, but then once it processes, I'll put it back up and you guys can make more comments there. So I hope you guys had a good time tonight. Again, I know there's some other things I want to talk about, but it's gonna have to wait. I don't think I'm ready there, because there's some stuff I just want to get out there. That, again, everything's fine, don't worry, but it's just I need to talk about some things, but I'm not ready yet. And I hope you guys had a good time tonight. I'm gonna get some rest, and again, just pay attention to the channel. Here in the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna put, or maybe even less, I'm going to put up the video for the review of the Sesame Street 50th anniversary celebration. So, and I'm starting to lose my voice. So until next time, this has been the Low Budget Livestream. I am your host, the real Gino Reynolds. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and have a good night. See you later.